In today's politics, what we lack is the grassroots level understanding. So, what is the first step that a youngster aspiring to become a politician should take?
Majority of the Indians have, or people here, have not seen what is the real India. For no reason, he went on to build a Shimoga airport. There is a pipeline passing from there, but the water doesn't get dispensed into that lake. I find it very weird and vague.
And again, you see the whole Muslim community coming together and putting up a defense against this. What's your honest take on this?
Let that be on record. These lands are not government lands.
Hello everybody, welcome to our next episode in our interview segment. Today we have with us a very special guest. He is a grassroots leader, a reformist, an educationist, and of course a learned gentleman. Let's welcome Mr. CM Faiz. Hello sir, thank you for joining us and giving us your valuable time for this particular interview. I have a lot of questions that I want to talk to you about, and considering the news that is going around in social media and different platforms, I have many things to discuss with you about as well. But before everything, since I walked in and I've been interacting with you, I can't take my eyes off your glasses. And it takes me back to CM Ibrahim Saab's signature glasses. Can you draw some correlation, or is it inspiration, is it nostalgia, what is it?
Definitely, he's an inspiration for me.
Right.
And father, son, I look up to him. From where he was to what he is now.
Right.
From his days of childhood where he had all the struggles, being a young sibling father or a parent to his 7 siblings, because his father passed away at a very early age, having the role and the responsibility of bringing up them all, getting them married, getting them settled, and also his social endeavor in terms of public life.
Right.
So his entire life story is a big inspiration for me, and I look up to him. So yes, this is definitely enacting him in a little way possible.
Yes.
But at the same time, I mean, it's a taste which I have also picked up.
An acquired taste.
Acquired taste.
Yes.
And I have a penchant, because rest of the things, I lead a very simple life. I have great aspirations.
Is this one of your political statements that you're trying to make, that I have a simple lifestyle?
See, I think I am what I am. Okay, so that cannot be denied. Even though my past 40 years of my age now, I've been a very private person. Haven't been in social or public life much.
Okay.
But the fact that when you look around, if I as an individual, with all the great opportunity, privileges, benefits, and the resources, what is in it for the larger society is the cause. So I got in thinking that I want to do that role, but at the same time I have a life to lead. I am as an individual, I have a personality, and I don't wish to compromise on that front. I want to project the very positive aspect in terms of, with all and with everything, you still can do a lot more to the whole cause of community and community service, humanity. And it's a privilege that God has bestowed on maybe the 1% of our country.
Correct.
And if we 1% don't understand that our role and responsibility towards the 99% of the rest, the whole of your achievements goes for a waste.
Because you've grown up in that political environment, and even today you interact with a lot of people. Is there some sort of a pressure that builds on you that you're Mr. CM Ibrahim's son and you have to outperform his stature in politics, or there's something that you need to perhaps achieve to prove to people that you've arrived in politics? Is there something like that on you?
I think as far as social expectations are concerned, it's always there.
Right.
Because before you have a great personality who's left a mark, who's created an identity for himself.
Right.
Even today, with 27 years of he not being in power, okay, he's still a voice to reckon.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
He's still a newsmaker. So with that being the case, every son born to a great father, people have some expectations and aspirations. Because I would say the same thing, the 1% and the 99%. You are among the 1%, so you have duty, responsibility, and all the opportunity, upbringing, upbringing, education,
Yes, yes.
benefits,
Yes.
so platforms. So if you don't deliver, then who's going to deliver?
True.
Okay, so with that thought process, yes, definitely there is a pressure, but at the same time, we are looking at a different generation of people, okay, where the mindsets are changing. A son of a farmer no longer wants to be into farming profession,
Yes.
or he is going back to farming profession with the innovation in technology,
Yes,
bringing a lot more technology into farming. Okay, so that's a change. Things like that are changing. So this change in mindset of the society is also allowing a lot more that as an individual, let's respect his identity.
Right.
So that's also an advantage in today's era. And look at our great leaders. Okay, we expect if an iconic leader, Rahul Gandhi, born to a great personality, Rajiv Gandhi, again his forefathers, Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, all of that. So society is expecting certain, performances from you, or certain role to play, or certain expectations in terms of this is the way you should be behaving. So I think yes, it is there, but it's changing. It's very dynamic, and we have people with different opinions. We respect each one's opinion, and that's what democracy is all about.
Right. You're talking about, public life and things like that. You run an institution yourself. How much of political encouragement do you provide to youngsters? And second part of the question would be, what do you think is the current scenario when it comes to youth joining politics? Because I personally feel that youngsters are not really motivated about political life, because we usually hear, I'm apolitical, I don't want to discuss politics, these kind of things. And you have an entire generation to mold. What are your contributions when it comes to politics for youngsters?
So the first part question, institution, I don't run my institution. It's a team of people, team of academicians, team of professionals who run the institution. I just extend my guidance and I bring I'm like a connecting factor. Okay, so it's a well-established, well-managed institution offering various programs, and I'm quite proud to be part of that setup. Well, to your second aspect of youths in politics, see, today I think we all are trying to look at what our comfort zone is and settle down on a comfort. And politics is not a comfortable zone at all.
Right.
It's always pushing your limits, pushing your boundaries. You're always unsettled. You're always out of your comfort zone. So youths are not, maybe because of that, looking to be part of that process. And I would say it should be looked at very pragmatically. Okay, politics is definitely a tough call. So when I say politics, could be the social cause altogether.
Activism
altogether, because the cause there is not just yours. The cause what you're fighting is for something larger. Okay, and you need not have a solution to it, or you will not achieve the deliverables, or the achievables might not be very tangent or tangible before you.
Makes sense.
It could be a very long drawn 5 years process, 10 years process, 20 years process. So that patience level is where our youths are lacking. Okay, and hence they think best to stay out, but can be say I'm very unpolitical. Okay, all have an opinion. But unfortunately, they are not lending the voice to that opinion. And the people who are lending their voice to their opinion is what takes them to be in social life or activism, in politics, or in that form of field, and make it a revolution. And I think today, youths have to understand that and take a decision based on those aspects. It's not an AC job. Yes. It's not a 9 to 4 job. Yes. It is not a fixed pay job. No. Okay, you don't have KRAs, you don't have KPIs, but all what you have is a determination, is a vision, is a willingness, okay, is a cause. So that cause is what drives you every day. So if youths understand that cause, if they have that ignition in them, ignite it, and I would encourage more educated youths come in and cleanse the whole system. Bring in, be part of the policy making to ensure policy is equilateral. Policy is ensuring utmost integrity to all sections of the society. Today, politics is mired with casteism, communalism, and different vote bank social or vote bank politics. If more and more education comes in, more and more educated youth come in, I think the dynamics change.
So what is the first step that a youngster aspiring to become a politician should take?
First, he has to have a cause and a vision.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, that's very clear. Why is that he wants to be part of a social change?
So not for power or money?
That's a byproduct, I
Acha,
would say.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, yeah, money is definitely, I wouldn't say it's a big no-no, because politics again brings in, if your objective is money, don't be here. You need to be in corporate world. You need to be in business.
Right. Right.
Okay, it's a cause. It's that issue which you want to take up. Some experience people have through which you feel that you can bring about a change is what should ignite that passion. And then go behind that.
Right.
It's only one man which needs to start, and then it forms.
Right. What are your end aspirations with politics? Because why I'm bringing this up is because I've been researching, and I understand that your seat is pretty much confirmed in Shiggaon for the upcoming by-election.
I wish.
And you're there. You're doing a lot of groundwork. That's very much appreciated, because I think in today's politics, what we lack is the grassroots level understanding. Because the Prime Minister is there. I don't know how well he's connected with his constituency, or perhaps even any other Union Cabinet Minister. But Mr. Faiz, I would love if you continue to stay in your constituency even after you win, or perhaps be there. So what are your larger aspirations?
See, I think the most important thing is today to understand what is on the ground, what's the bottom of the entire pyramid. Okay, whether we are in Bangalore, in Delhi, or any part of the world, majority of the Indians have, or people here have not seen what is the real India. Okay, we have good infrastructure in cities. Okay, do we have the same infrastructure, same facilities, same opportunities in the real India?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so I had the privilege, and I think I was very determined that if at all I want to be in the social life, I want to be part of understanding right from the ground level to check what is India, what is the real need, what is the real requirement, and how people are, and how people behave, how people conceive. With all this is what I wanted to start a career. So that's what I did, and I got the opportunity. Shiggaon is one area which I tend to connect. Shiggaon, multiple reasons why I'm in Shiggaon.
Yes, I want to know that. Why Shiggaon?
I'll come to why Shiggaon a little later. But before that, just completing my thing is, yes, being at the grassroots is only gives you a real insight into how tomorrow's India should be. Okay? Right. Because as a country, we have a 5,000 years history.
Right.
Unlike many of the developed nations, don't go beyond 200 years of history.
Absolutely.
Okay? Yes. And we are a very culturally diverse, divergent group of people. India is an idea.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? It's a convergence of different ideas. So people talk differently, people eat differently, people behave differently, people wear differently, people move differently. So all of this, they worship differently. Okay? So when all of this come together is called India. So I started Shiggaon, and it's been good many months and weeks now, connecting with people, understanding the issues of what it is, and trying to build a cause, a change from there. And if all goes well, fingers crossed, if my party believes in me, if my people believe and my destiny allows, definitely I would be contesting the election, and I would try to win and be the people's voice and be the change representative there. But no, not being able to nominate, it's absolutely fine. It's an opportunity, getting yourself a party nomination.
Yes.
I would still work for my party, for my people, who allowed me an opportunity to interact with them, who allowed me an opportunity to understand them. Tell me how many people are open to discuss their issues and problems and requirement. It's not the case. Unless they find something they confine in you, only then they open up and try to talk. So that itself is a big opportunity for me, and it's a learning for me. So that's how it is. And why Shiggaon? Oh, Shiggaon. My dad was born in Dharwad district.
Yes.
Same district. Very adjoining is Ranebennur, Arani village, where he was born. My whole ancestors are from there, and In 1978, he happened to contest for the Lok Sabha elections when he was for a opposite candidate there. Of course, he didn't win at that point in time because the wave was very different. And in Shiggaon, Savanur, to keep this connection on, to keep this link on, I built a small establishment in Savanur. It's a social cause where I got the opportunity to connect.
Okay.
So 6 years ago, I built a small organization there to nurture kids in terms of...
What is it called?
So it's called Mayani Masjid Jamaat. It's a madrasa. It's a small madrasa. So I built there. And I kept the connection intact. And my regular visits to that entire place. Here we are today. There is a by-election. I'm trying to seek an opportunity if I can be the representative.
Right.
I never envisaged 6 years ago that I'm going to be prepared for this role today. Right? So sometimes you actually connect with the cause. An opportunity comes at a later date.
Yes.
So this is the part I was insisting on, that you need to understand that this is not for immediate result. Anything what you do is something which is very in within you, that actually stimulates your thoughts, and you want to connect with the cause for the betterment of the society. So this is an opportunity. Maybe it's a godsend. Okay. Hence, I'm trying to make myself more available, accessible, and trying to get my nomination for the Shiggaon by-election constituency.
Right.
If I get it, good. If I don't make it, even no problem. I would still be connected with my people there.
So can you highlight specific issues that you're looking to solve, or you think are the major problems that are sort of hindering Shiggaon's growth or development?
See, my past few years in Shiggaon, spending time around there, the biggest challenge what I've seen, infrastructure, being in spite of a constituency of former chief minister, a minister for more than almost 5, 8, 10 years, infrastructure still lacking, basic roads. We don't have underground drainage facilities. Even now, the whole open drainage system still exists within the town municipal corporations.
Right.
Not a single private engineering college. Okay. Youths have to still travel either to Hubli or Haveri. There is a government engineering college. In the whole of Haveri district, there is not a single well-established engineering college. We do have graduate colleges, management colleges, but standards are still not as something which can help them get skill them to get jobs in corporate world. And students are still lacking with basic transportation facilities from villages to reach the town where the nearest college is or the nearest school is. It's a challenge. They have to wait for hours together to get a transport to freight them to their colleges. So if they miss one bus, the next bus is only after 2 hours.
Okay. So there's no last mile.
There is no last mile connectivity with regard, even connecting directly to the education institutions, leave alone, for your daily essentials and all of that. Then coming to the human growth index, very poor. The hospital, healthcare sector in shambles. Why not a large private hospital? Forget private. What about government hospitals? Not equipped with facilities. People are forced to go to Hubli, go to Dharwad for treatment. So I fail to understand the basic requirements for human existence. When you are an elected MLA, you have funds for all that, you have opportunities for all of these things to be fixed. And you've been a chief minister as well.
You're talking about Mr. Bommai?
Yes, Mr. Bommai, it was his chief minister, as his constituency. Tell me, what is that he couldn't have brought in? If you remember, one of the chief ministers of BJP, Mr. Yediyurappa, for no reason he went on to build a Shimoga airport.
I am from Shimoga, so I know it well.
I mean, today the airport is not functioning, but what was it? That's a vision. He said, today I'm going to build, because I'm a chief minister, I want to leave back a development right there.
It's tier 2 city, right?
It's a tier 2 city. He said, I'm going to build an airport. Maybe it's not going to be used today, but it's a start of the development. Now with the airport there, connectivity established, you have a lot of corporates actually trying to set up IT parks there. You have factories coming up there. Right?
Land rates have
gone up. So who benefits? The people from that local, that region benefits. So if he could do that, it's a vision, right? And then we see, go to Mysore, Siddaramaiah Saab's constituency, superb, Chamarajanagar, wonderful development, right? This is not the case to be reflected here. It's not nowhere to be seen. Now coming to the employment opportunities, where are the youths going? Today you are empowering youth with, okay, some sort of education, but the next thing is their aspirations to get a job. Okay, now you expect the youths to leave the cities and go to
Tier 1 cities.
Tier 1 cities. Okay, what will happen to their cities now? What will happen to Shiggaon? If youths don't stay in their city, what is the development index of the city? Okay, who's going to actually develop the city? Who's going to fight for the cause of the local issues there? Who's going to bring in development or reformation there? Okay, one. Second, all your aged parents are there. Who's going to take care of their interest? Who's going to protect their interest? Okay, so this imbalance. Now coming to Bangalore, they all coming to Tier 1 cities, causing a huge kind of blockage in terms of development, because the resources cannot manage handle this many influx of people from different regions. So I fail to understand why Mr. Bommai didn't look at Shiggaon as an area of creating employment there. You could have, and it's on a very good connectivity highway. There's no limitation in terms of connectivity. You could have done it. So I feel somewhere there was no willingness to do it. Okay, or maybe he lacked a vision, or maybe he was lucky in terms of he landed himself the opportunity of being a chief minister. He said, now let me build my own, own welfare than the people welfare, and that's reflecting there. So coming back to the employment for youths is lacking. Hospital infrastructure is lacking.
Correct.
Okay, and our farmers, in terms of there's no APMC proper setup market. Okay. Okay, and if you know, Shiggaon, Savanur Shiggaon is a place where betel leaves. Okay, at one point it used to get exported even outside the country. Okay. Even now, betel leaf is big, but they don't have a proper, even a small APMC market there. Why? How much or how long does it take to set up an APMC market for daily auctioning? And this is a throughout the year crop. Yes. Okay, so that could have been a basic essential there. And integrating, bringing in research, when you knew all of these opportunities there. This is the kind of lack of vision which Mr. Bommai had. So I think these are the basics to fix. And I truly believe that if you fix first, water is another issue in Savanur. There is Moti Talab, which unfortunately is the talab which actually, the lake, which gives irrigation facility for adjoining about 30 plus villages. Okay. There is a pipeline passing from there, but the water doesn't get dispensed into that lake, and farmers are fighting for it. Okay, and this is a good year, good time when weather is good, rains are good, fine, adjoining villages have access to water. What in case of drought situation? Okay, the local borewells don't get recharged as well. So the pipeline, in spite of passing through that, just about 5 meters from that lake, they haven't actually given extension to fill that lake. Okay. And no justification today. Only justification people have is a political issue. Saying that particular region hasn't been voting for Mr. Bommai. Okay, so maybe that's the reason that he has not left an extension. I find it very weird and vague, and it's for him to answer. Why is that you didn't actually go ahead to give an extension and fill your own lake? And everybody fights for a cause, especially water. Right, is an essential. Absolutely, right. So he's failed there as well. So water, drinking water, filtration system is not there across. Okay, schools, recently I have gone to few schools. I have provided some filtered water filtration systems in these few schools because it was not there. Even if it's a government school, don't they have access to, shouldn't they be access to clean water, drinking water? Yes. So that's lacking. So I have, at my own resources, my little resources, what I could, I have extended some facilities there. So things like these, the basic essentials which a human being requires to exist, drinking water, sanitary facility, education, health, all of that are lacking. Right. Okay, and then followed by employment for youth. So if these things are not fixed, I think there's going to be mass exodus from that region. So if the people move out, then what is in it for this taluk there? Correct. So we have to stop the exodus, start building facilities, so that people there, that economy flourishes. And so this is my focus. It's going to be a very prolonged and a very pragmatic kind of an approach, where I won't say only water to be fixed or only drainage to be fixed.
There are a lot of things.
These are, I mean, I would look at in a very like an ecosystem which has to be ensured that Shiggaon becomes why a tier 3 city, why it can't be a tier 2 or tier 1 city in days to come.
Right.
So that's the approach which I would be taking.
While we have MPs who don't know exactly what they have done in their own constituency, here we have Mr. Faiz, who has actually looked into all of the problems in detail. I'm happy to hear that, sir, and I really wish that you get through and solve these problems for people.
Thank you. Thank you.
Keeping these issues aside, I would bring your attention to something contemporary. There's a lot of debate and discussion going on vis-a-vis the Waqf Amendment Bill, and you yourself are a Mutawalli registered voter. There are a lot of discrepancies, there are a lot of things coming out over there. And again, you see the whole Muslim community coming together and putting up a defense against this. What's your honest take on this?
See, I think let's look at what is Waqf, the whole concept of Waqf. I think this is where the understanding should be first.
All right.
Waqf is something, it's an individual who has earned through his resources, through his ways and means, and he goes on to contribute, donate this land for the welfare of the community and society. So he waqfs the land.
Yes, yes.
Okay, this is what waqf is. He donates it. Now, this is the fundamental to it. Now, Government of India went on to form a Waqf board. Why? So that different states, different individuals over a period of time have donated land, and they said instead of getting it misused by any sorts of other people, let us bring them into uniformity. So they formed a Waqf board and brought in all these land under it.
Correct.
Okay. Now let that be on record. These lands are not government lands.
Correct.
These land are not donated government lands or acquired government lands. These are private individual lands which have been donated by individuals for the welfare of the community.
Right.
Now government has come in and to ensure okay, transparency, better utilization, effective utilization, they formed the Waqf board. There was a bill passed and brought in all these under its regulations. Okay, so this is what. Now, yes, I wouldn't say Waqf board is totally clear, clean of corruption, of issues. No, definitely there are its own challenges. The functioning has been its own challenges because policies somewhere hasn't been effectively enforced.
By the people of the Waqf board?
By the people of the Waqf board. There are a lot of encroachments in the Waqf board.
Correct, correct.
And Waqf board doesn't have full judicial power to go ahead and enact and clear the encroachment.
Okay.
They have to still come back
The
once it
courts.
is proved to the courts of the land. And you know the civil litigations in our country, it takes a fairly long period. Okay, fairly long period for the speedy disposal.
Right.
And then unfortunately this is an elected body and some nominations people there. So the tenures also keeps changing. So hence lot of these lands have been underutilized. A lot of these lands have been encroached. A lot of these lands have been acquired by various government agencies for different purposes. Okay, so there are those complications within the Waqf board. I am not getting into that. But now is a situation where government comes and says, no, we are completely reforming it. Okay, fine, you want to reform it. Seems interesting. Your thoughts are maybe. Let us hear what it is. But when you look at the Waqf Board Amendment Bill, what is that they're trying to do here? Their intent is to reform it. They're saying this is for the welfare of the people. Fine. But your intents don't speak the same.
Okay.
Okay. Your idea is only to supersede the functioning of the Waqf Board so that today, just like the whole intention of this NDA government and this thing is nothing but to try and create a confusion or create an issue and keep it boiling for some time. Okay, so look at what are the amendments. I think in few of the amendments specifically, now they are trying to power this to DC to take over district. Now today, revenue matters in our country. Forget Waqf board land. All of Waqf board land is maybe they might say it's about 1 lakh acres or something pan India. Okay, within a DC's jurisdiction, maybe about 2,000 or 1,000 acres or less than that in a DC's jurisdiction. Compare this with the lakhs of acres which he already has jurisdiction over.
Right.
Okay, currently. The DC is not effectively able to solve the issues of the land which it has come to him. Okay, has he been able to render justice to the hundreds and thousands of litigants which are pending before the district court, okay, before the district collector to need the justice and fix their revenue records, right?
But why didn't the Muslim community itself come together, or Muslim leaders themselves come together and solve these internal problems so that this doesn't come into the negative light under the India government? Because we clearly know what the India government is trying to do. Don't you think there was a sense of introspection by the Muslim community on this part?
See, I think to be quite honest on that fact, yes, the issue is much internal. Somewhere down the line, we failed our own cause.
Right.
Okay, we failed our own cause. If our forefathers donated this land, it was donated in the interest of the community. Okay, it was somewhere as a Muslim that we had to uphold
Absolutely.
the true donation and the intent which they had. We failed there.
We failed.
Right? So, since we failed, somebody is trying to, now politics is coming into the picture. But I would still be a strong opponent of to say, this is a Waqf issue, please stay out. It's a very personal law. Okay? You are trying to bring in nominees who could be different walks of life or different caste, different, okay? Why? Do they understand what Sharia law is? Do they understand how Islamic law is? Forget Sharia law. Do they understand what the intent of Waqf is? Are they learned that they are somebody who can be an authority on that sake? Okay? Then, if there is a temple administration, let's per se, do you allow a Muslim to be a member of the temple administration? If there is a church administration, do you allow a Muslim to be part of church administration?
But the counter to that is, this is a challenge, direct challenge to secularism, because no other religious institution is free of government involvement. For example, Muzra Ilaqah and all of that. They are still under government's radar, but not like Waqf.
Yes.
Don't you think it should come under the...
No, I'll tell you, have you understood why Muzra Ilaqah has been under government?
Please tell us.
One of the things which I believe, or I've seen, is because all of these establishments have been actually huge contributions made by individual devotees to these temples.
Right.
Okay, huge amount of contributions. Now, who governs this?
The temple boards.
Temple boards. That's the reason they wanted clarity in terms of who is what is being collected.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I am for the opinion, government's business is to govern, not in the area of doing business or not in the space of personal law. Okay. At some stage, if Muzrai has to be government, if there is able leadership there, able board there to manage the trust, let them manage it. Why should government get into managing the trust and mosques and churches? No, it's not government, because government is a custodian of entire humanity, okay, entire individual of the country. They can't be just the custodian of a certain religion.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I think it works against the principles of natural justice or any of these things. Muzrai department, if there is a good proponent, okay, we have seen there are great institutions, great organizations under private management and effectively being run. Okay, there is no involvement of government there. Okay,
Right.
there are so many across India.
I agree. Yes.
Right, within the temple administration. Okay, quite a few are under government department. So it's for government to take a call, bring in a law, change it, get the government to toe your line and force it. Why are we to oppose that? If there is a case for it, do it. Okay, but whereas in case of Waqf or all of this, we don't collect contributions from people in every day. It's not a donation system on there
Correct.
every day.
Yeah.
Right? Each masjid, even though it is linked to, attached to Waqf board, the masjid committee, okay, they pull in funds for themselves by the committee members. They pay the muazzam, they pay the imam, they do the maintenance, they pay the electricity,
Correct,
they
absolutely.
keep upkeeping, upgradation, all that is done by those 5-6 members of that place. Okay, they are not drawing funds from the public to go and fix this system. So wherever there is public contribution, okay, is why a government has come to regulate it. So I think somewhere some of these temples have huge contributions by public. Okay, government is hence trying to regulate, so to avoid misuse.
Right.
It's purely to avoid misuse. Okay. So if there is a case, I think they can put it up and make it right. This is a different matter. Don't bring this up together. These are two different issues we are trying to discuss. Okay. These lands are privately donated lands. It's nothing to do with government acquired, government allotted, or any of government stored there.
Correct.
Okay. And administration, private people are doing it. So Waqf board has a very different role to play. As a board, over a period of time, yes, we have our challenges. We have our administrative challenges. We have our functional challenges. We've not been able to do justice for what our forefathers contributed or the idea of Waqf. Let's fix it. Good that government has probably initiated this, because there is a common now discussion among the Muslims also. Yes, we have to be.
I think this is a common Muslim problem in India now, that the reaction is always situation based.
Yeah.
The whole time they are not involving themselves in doing any kind of community development or change. And when there is a policy by the government, all of a sudden the whole community wakes up. Don't you think?
Yes, it is, because we as a community has been very poor in education.
And who do we blame for that?
See, I think again now coming to the entire let's like Sachar committee report as an index.
Right.
Okay, if that as an index, what does the report say?
It's worse than the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why so? Now we have a reservation. We don't have a reservation. I don't want to get into that.
No, but don't you think the Muslim community has been self-alienating itself for a very long time?
See, the most important thing is today in the way Muslims perceive. Apart from religiously, we are trying to garner traction. We have not really understood what is our real responsibility as citizens of this country, or any country for that matter.
Acha.
Okay. Are we a greater citizen? Yes, for argument's sake, we say we fought for our cause. We fought for our independence. Absolutely, no two ways about it. But then, now let's come into the growth story. As an individual or as a family, what is our contribution towards the economic progress of this country? Okay, we all living a life. Yes, we all do businesses in service sector. Muslim majority are in service sector, right? Who are everyday wagers. Okay, but that contribution is not getting reflected in our economic index value today.
Right.
Okay, because these are gig workers. Okay, these are bail mandi, vegetable vendors. Okay, there are dispensing mutton shop or that kind of this thing. Or we are doing service sector in terms of fixing the bikes and all that. Why? One, we have not educated our youths well. As a parent, the entire motivation was not enough, or a persuasion towards an individual youth to go and pursue education. There's no support system at home, unfortunately. Right? If you look at my own case, okay, I would say my mother, she's not educated. At the age of 14, 15, back then she was married. Okay, she was not educated, but she had a vision that all my kids should get educated.
Right.
So she forced us, she pushed us, she motivated us to get into education stream. Right? So that thought process was not there in the rest of the community, which is the change which we are seeing today. Today we are seeing more and more people, more and more youths, and more families are pushing their wards into education,
yes.
acquiring education. So that change. What damage happened 30, 40, 50 years back, you can't undo it within no time. So the transition today, okay, we are seeing more of our youths getting into corporate profile jobs, okay, whether be it BPO, KPO, backend, banking, BFSI, all of those sectors are reforming, IT and all of that. But look at the index maybe 10, 15 years back, we were less.
Yeah.
Okay, so the percentage is increasing. So what's happening is education is empowering people. That's a change there. Okay, so that transition you will see in the next 10, 15 years, where more and more people getting acquired and getting into the real economy.
Right.
So that change will be reflected. So will be rest of our causes and issues around it. Today, Our religion preaches cleanliness at the highest level. Okay, we have to bow down our head 5 times a day. And before bowing 5 times a day, the most important thing is wuzu is actually we cleanse ourselves.
Ablution, yes.
Ablution it's called. Okay, when we have to without ablution, our namaz is not validated. So this is a religion which preaches cleanliness. Now look at our surroundings. Are we keeping our areas clean?
No, not at all.
So somewhere we as a community should start contributing or looking at first ourselves, our surroundings, then the society. What stops us from keeping our environment and surroundings clean? Right? So start there. This is what I say, as an individual or as a community, somewhere we have not been a positive impact, creating positive impact in terms of our society or in terms of our country. Keeping the environment clean. Look at some of the areas. High Court judge passing a comment. Very unfortunate for him to comment. Very unfortunate for him to comment that. Of course, he's regretted his statement. That's fine, good. But very unfortunate. But now look at the incident. Why he has commented that. He says that in an auto there are about 6-7 people riding and going into that area. Okay. What does the law say? It is not allowed. In an auto rickshaw, 1 driver in the front and 3 people at the max, passengers at the max. Why are we breaking the rule there? What are we trying to prove a point there? Okay, what has the civic leaders or community leaders trying to do to fix this problem? Obviously, if the community civic leaders don't do it, the police enforcement has to do it.
There are no civic leaders.
There are no civic leaders. The police law has to rein in. So somewhere that comment, it might be a passing comment, but there is essence to that comment. Undercurrent to it.
Yes.
Right? He can't do it because he's sitting in a very constitutionally, he's a custodian of constitution. Okay? But the fact, now come to it, that comment, it's true. Go into those areas, it's not hygiene, it's not clean. What stops you from keeping your surroundings clean? When you preach 5 times cleanliness, why aren't you keeping your surroundings clean? And it starts from there. Now when I talk about this economic empowerment, I say that we are all in service sectors, where it used to be all cash or based economy. Okay, of course, only recent years we have UPI and digitalization coming in, but still, we are a long way in terms of. So what happens is the entire component, which is as a cash, is not coming into the banking system. When you're not going to be part of the banking system, how are you going to be part of the economics, the revolution which is happening?
Right.
Okay. Are you paying your taxes on time? As a Muslim, you're duty bound to pay taxes as well. As much as you're supposed to pay your zakat, which is 2.5% of your wealth. Okay. You are also duty bound to pay taxes of the land or land, whichever the rents which are levied by the authorities of the land. Are you paying your taxes? If so, what is the contribution towards that? Do we have any indices that? No, we are lacking there. Okay? Economically, yes, we all might have cars, bikes and all of that, but how is this not getting translated into a real index? So, I would add all this aspect to say the problem, unless we realize and start working on this, we can't blame everybody every time outsiders to fix a problem.
Absolutely right.
True. But at the same time, as reports, let's look at Sachar committee report. It says a dire state of do we have reservation? No, we don't have. I am not a proponent of reservation, but why it is reservation required for at least some period of time is to ensure that distribution of opportunities.
There is a 2B reservation.
It's in Karnataka. That is why we are seeing certain sections of, based on their economic and backwardness, certain sections were given. They have become engineers, they have become doctors, they have carved into roles. That is because there was a certain portion reserved for them.
Right.
Imagine a scenario that is not reserved, you will still not find those people coming in. So the distribution, equal distribution of opportunity is why we'll enable reservation. Okay. Again, I'm very clear, I'm not a proponent of reservation, but for some time, for a large section of people to actually climb up, okay, you need to give some amount of reservation.
The benefits to
reach different sections of the society. After that, you can withdraw it. You review it. Maybe every 5 years you review it and look at what has to be done. But there need not be a uniform, standardization. And then what is creamy layer? Remove the creamy layer. You define who is should get these privileges. Now, challenge in our country is sometimes some of these rules are not getting implemented effectively.
Correct, sir.
Those who deserve don't get it.
Yes.
The undeserving utilize it. Just recently, we had an IAS officer who was, she was, yes, she got disqualified. She challenged, imagine, she got disqualified and she challenged the disqualification in the court of law. And she says the UPSC has no authority to remove her. Right? Well, it's for a different debate, but the fact still remains as her background. So the policy has to be tweaked in a way that the real deserving, qualified, meritorious people get that opportunity.
What Ambedkar envisioned has not come into reality even after 75 years.
It's not. So it's not happened. So the problem is, within our community, we change. Even if we are effective preachers of a religion, then at least look at what the religion speaks very clearly. We start following that. Okay, let's take care of our surroundings. Let's take care of our society. Let's take care of our neighbors. Prophet used to, before he used to eat, he used to actually check if my neighbors have eaten.
Right.
So if you are followers of Prophet, where is your ethos and ethics today? And that is the change which we as a community should come up with.
Right.
And the days we come change, everybody around you, the perception changes. And Muslims, fortunately or unfortunately, are always getting lost in the perception battle. There are issues which rake up and put it, and we get into that issue. Okay? And we lose out of focus on a bigger issue.
Right.
Just like hijab and halal. What was hijab issue? What was the need for hijab issue to be cropped up? It was a created issue. It was a fabricated issue. It was an issue to control narrative by a certain section of the people. They wanted to control the narrative. They brought this into the mainframe to discuss. Okay, so that they can polarize. They can bring in different divergent views. Okay, and again isolate Muslims. Again isolate the individuals from that community and push them to the corner.
So Muslims got played.
Yeah, of course they got played. Otherwise, I don't think at my institution, for example, we have a uniform issue. We have uniform as a discipline issue. No compromise on the uniform. But I allow everyone individual. We have designed our policies in a way everybody has got freedom to practice their religion. If somebody wants to wear a hijab, there is a uniform hijab. Wear it.
Okay.
We don't stop them. Okay, because Hindu culture also ensures that you are supposed to wear pallu on your head. Even today, pallu system is across our country.
Right.
Okay, so maybe because of westernization or our quest for being anything that is West, we tend to want to be associated and like it. The system of pallu has gone out. That's a culture. It's not a religious practice.
Right.
It's a cultural practice. Come Shiggaon, women still have pallu, irrespective of which religion they follow. Rajasthan, Haryana, Kerala, all of these places. Okay, different parts of North Karnataka. Even now, pallu is a very standard. My entire Marwadi community, ladies still put pallu. Okay, Jain community, ladies still wear pallu. So that's a cultural practice.
Right.
It's got nothing to do with the religion. And years ago, if you see, many of these countries have pallu or a full-fledged, hair was covered in great countries. It's a transition which has happened, and people just have tamed that to a religion. Okay, people have just linked that wearing a hijab, that means you are from Muslims, so you have to be isolated. You are very orthodox. They single you out. Okay, being a Muslim, practicing Muslim is not an orthodox practice. I am proud Muslim. I am very proud to practice my religion, but I practice in a way that I ensure my neighbors or anybody around you doesn't get intimidated or doesn't get bothered about. So let's start from fixing our own community.
Yes, absolutely. These are the basic fundamentals I think the community should be told about. So since we are talking about the minorities and the Muslims, I want to understand, do you think India has become more communal after 2014?
I would tend to look at differently,
No, I don't want you to be diplomatic. I want you to be honest about this.
No, see, it's not being diplomatic, but I interact with people across demographics.
Okay.
What has happened is there were some thoughts which were within few people. Okay. The moment somebody raised certain objections or voices, the thought became as a voice or an opinion. And we saw the demographic, or we saw the impact. Unfortunately, if a leader has followings, a leader has fan base, a leader is a thought process. So the moment a leader makes certain statement, there are hundreds and thousands of followers who are actually trying to outdo the leader's statement.
Okay.
Okay? So this is the damage which has happened.
So which leader are you talking about?
So a great leader, okay? It could be a prime minister and the entire establishment.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Or maybe the BJP as well. Okay? Because the rhetoric statement. BJP is driven by RSS ideology.
Of course, yes.
Okay? And RSS ideology is very clear. They cared a damn for a nation's father. Okay? What will they care of a normal individual or ordinary individual citizen of this country? Father of the nation who fought for freedom was nothing for them. Okay? What is a common citizens to them? So when RSS is coming from that kind of ideology and thought process, they started controlling the narrative. And they implanted a lot of negative content. Okay? To set a rhetoric. And like I said in my previous statement, the narrative. They always want to control the narrative. Okay? So that narrative was set by them. Common Indian, and I would very strongly say average Indian is a very secular and peace-loving individual.
Right.
Okay? A section of right-wings are there. They got played to the content. And that is what started making around as news and trying to forecast that there is a lot of communalism. Okay? Yes, a lot of Indians, a lot of Muslims faced issues because of that.
Right.
Okay? Until 2014, was beef not being transported?
It was.
Was beef not being consumed?
It was.
Right? Beef is not consumed by Muslims alone. Beef is consumed by different sections of the society.
Correct.
In Goa, as on today, beef is allowed. It's a staple food. Northeast, beef consumption is allowed in staple food. Okay, Mr. Subramaniam Swamy went on to very nicely say that it is a certain breed or class of cow which we are sought after.
Yes.
Rest is allowed to consume. Now then he should use his wisdom to say which breed is available where.
You should convey the same to the Prime
convey
Minister.
the same to the Prime Minister and bring in policies like that. Now that kind of issues, that kind of challenges is what started pushing our community further down. Okay? Yes, as a worshipper, Gau Mata is something which many people have faith in. We respect the faith. Right? We absolutely respect the faith of different people. But now, whether there is an ecosystem which is already built, okay? A government, farming community, who actually raises the cattle? It's the farmers.
Farmers.
It's not corporate world.
Of course not.
Right?
Yes.
The farmers. Now farmers, after a cow, until it gives milk, okay, they preserve it, they take the milk, they milk the cow, and the milk supply chain goes on.
Right.
Post, it stops giving milk. Can the farmer nurture this cow anymore? He's not in a position to take care of this cow.
Right.
So what used to happen previously is he used to take this cow in the cattle market. He used to trade this, okay, and add another 20, 30, 40,000 rupees and buy a fresh cow there, which is going to milk. Okay. Now traders used to take this, and that supply chain is different.
Supply chain, yes.
Okay, that supply chain is different. And I'll tell you where traders are selling today. We are today number 1 or number 2 in terms of beef export today. Who are these beef exporters?
They are non-Muslims as well.
Absolutely. So where are you trying to again bring this entire thing to the population of our country? Or how many percentage is Muslim population? We are just about 14%. In 14%, is all 14% eat beef eating?
No.
At my place, my mother, she doesn't eat beef.
Achha, okay.
Okay, my sisters don't eat relish beef at all. Okay, I probably at occasions or different this thing, we in Karnataka and in backward regions of Karnataka, tier 2, tier 3 cities, lamb is not available. Okay, it is sold
And
in
it's not
stores.
affordable also.
It's not affordable also. So there is an economic cycle, whether with the farming community or with the corporate sector. But for your convenience, for your vote bank, RSS has pushed it to say, this is the issue of the Muslims. They are the only beef eaters. Hence, they have to be penalized.
Yes.
And marginalize them further. So many issues like these have been created, fabricated issue without any contextual, without any statistics, and without any logic, have been cropped up, brought, showed it as an issue created by the minorities, and tried to single them out. So when the leaders have done it for their political aspirations and reasons, the common follower of that leader went on to channelize this, amplified further. So that voice percolated. That voice percolated, and that formed, yes, minorities did feel the heat of it. Lynching was not the cause before 2014. We never heard of lynching on the issue of beef. Or maybe back then there was no social media so active. Okay, but to my best of understanding, lynching on this thing beef was not an issue at all. Okay, that started happening, and lynching happened. Some elements of the society, okay, crooked elements, okay, criminals went on to lynch that individual. What next? Did the supreme leader or anybody in their command denounce this practice, or did they go
light so 1 minute, sorry, light
alle short, okay. Did the supreme leader or anybody in their party, okay, object this? Did they oppose this?
No, nobody.
Did they go against these criminals? Did they make a statement saying that this is against the law of the country? Okay, on the contrary, they went on to support this whole process. They tried to regularize this process in the form of a Gaurakshak. Okay, now who are Gaurakshaks? These are people who are uneducated, who have no role, no job, and you are empowering them with the law. You are empowering what police has, authority what police has. It's a moral policing. Today they do this for this reason. Tomorrow they go on to be enforce their this moral so-called policing authority on some other issue. That is what is happening today as a social upheaval. Social unrest is happening because of that. Okay, so as the party has not come out and outrightly made a statement, neither have they put an end to their cadres doing this.
Yes.
So that only demonstrates the people in power who are by constitutionally mandated oath, they have no belief in the law of the land. That's why they have disfranchised this or franchised this authority to Gaurakshaks. Okay, and issues coming up there. And many of the cases we have seen, false allegations that there was beef which is getting transported.
Right.
Tests have otherwise proven that it is not beef.
Yes.
Now here the process, the punishment. One who has been actually gotten lynched, he has faced all these things. Compensation for him, anything?
Nothing.
The people who have lynched him, has the law done anything to them?
No.
So this definitely, issues like this have ensured minorities have felt unsafe environment around them. Okay, and this is an issue of the society.
Right.
And society has to look at this from a pragmatic view. Today it could be Muslim and a beef issue. You are franchise the police authority to these Gaurakshaks. Tomorrow the issue could be something else. Okay, let's stop that practice. We have good law, good regulations, good policing. Okay, let police do their job. Dismantle this whole thing of Gaurakshaks. First put them behind bars. And I want to understand, these Gaurakshaks, what social standing do they have? Are they credible? Are they studied? Are they learned? Or do they have a degree of validation? Or do they have a degree of enforcing this law?
No, like
police
said,
today, okay, police today, even a PSI or a constable or an inspector, he has to clear certain examination
Yes,
system
yes.
and prove that he is qualified enough to understand what the law says and to implement the law. These guys are completely untamed individuals.
They can
They
do
could
anything.
misuse this for their own issues, and that's what is happening. And these happen exclusively and especially, unfortunately, it's been happening at large scale wherever BJP is there in those governments as ruling. Okay, because they believe that they can get away.
Right. So does the common people or the minority has only Congress as their option right now?
See, I think throughout India, it's a two formed alliances now. It is not just BJP or Congress. Yes, BJP is a large party. Second largest party is a Congress today. But within the Congress India alliance, we have Samajwadi Party, we have RJD,
Correct.
we have different parties within that. DMK is there in this region. So different parties are there. But as a principal opposition party, it is a Congress.
But we see on some points Congress has not shown strong enough opposition. Like for example, the abrogation of Article 370 or perhaps even the Ramjan Bhumi judgment. We have not seen any kind of an opposition from the Congress.
So I think this is Muslims are the new, socially we were untouchable, now we are trying to be politically untouchable.
Please elaborate.
Okay. Before socially, slowly, socially we got untouchable by way of our practices or not having clean environment, all of these things which I put. So socially we got isolated. Today politically we are being the untouchables. Okay. And I would say this personally. Why? Because somewhere there is a larger vote bank politics. Because end of the day Muslims are only 14%. Everybody wants to, the other side is the non-minorities, which is almost about 80%. Okay. And for good or bad reason, BJP goes on to get about 30-32% of vote bank share. Okay. And does it say which big chunk is going there? So everybody wants to be in power, vote bank. So if you sideline with Muslims, then definitely you are pro-Muslims, appeasement, all that politics come into play.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So best is leave it unsaid. I was surprised. I don't know if you guys heard. Mr. Amit Shah was making a statement the other day in Srinagar or somewhere where he's saying 2 cylinders I will give you free during Muharram and 2 during Eid I will give you free. I know it was. Is that an announcement which they're making or was a rhetoric statement? Because I couldn't see the entire clip of it. Now coming to this appeasement politics. Every state, okay, every state has got their own demographics. And Muslims, Sachar committee again I would hold, it was only implementing and trying to put a roadmap for uplifting them. That is being constructed as appeasement politics. What is the annual budget if a minority department gets vis-a-vis to any other departments? Whether social welfare department to minority department.
Agreed.
What is the benefit? What is the budget we get? Compare that with the statistics. Look at what the data says. Do they require this budget or don't they require this budget? Okay. So that's the difference. There's a debate there. We could have a separate debate to understand what is the real requirement. Because in the end, the contribution of money or value in terms of the exchequer is equal to all. You and me, we all pay GST.
Yes.
Okay, in our there might not be a lot of people paying taxes, income tax, but GST is a contribution for everybody, and GST is what comes back to the state for the development.
Yes.
Income tax, what we pay, doesn't come back to the state as for a development fund. Income tax money which is used is actually going for a lot of revenue expenditure of the central government.
Correct.
Okay, a lot of salaries get into that, your capital expenditure go, defense going. But the GST is what you pay, the petrol cess is what we pay, the VATs what we pay is what actually comes back to the state as a devolution of funds, okay, for the state's development and welfare activities. Okay, so today with GST being implemented, states have lost the autonomy of having its own demographic revenue distribution or a tax planning structure.
Yeah.
That has happened. Because states don't have any other source of revenue.
Correct.
GST is one source, then you have your excise revenues, then you have your petrol revenues. Apart from that, then you have the revenue department revenues like the taxes like road tax and all that being collected, which is not significant. Okay. Majority of this is a devolution which comes from the GST. And this GST is actually now controlled by central government. Okay, a state which contributes maximum gets little.
Little, yes.
Okay, not even one time what we are trying to 0.62%, but whereas a state which contributes X gets about 13 times of what their contribution is.
Yes, I'm aware of the statistics. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so based on that, the challenges are very different. In our country, minorities contribute maybe about 14 or 15% or so in the country, and state-wise again it's 16 odd percent in Karnataka state. So the challenges within Karnataka are very different to what challenges within UP or Bihar, okay, or for that matter Maharashtra also, right? So each state, the development plan for Muslim minority has to be very different.
Right.
Okay. Now I'm not saying government should give us more funds. No, that's not for a debate. But all what I'm saying is ensure, example Waqf land, free the Waqf land. Bring in regulations to ensure that Waqf encroachments are cleared within time-bound manner. Okay, speedy disposal of civil disputes within the Waqf land. Then let development happen in a very transparent manner from these Waqf land.
Right.
Let there be an economic income generating on these lands. Use that income for the welfare of the community. If we are able to do that efficiently, I don't think government is required to even contribute 1 rupee towards minority development. Well, as a citizen of this country, we have every right in that pool of kitty of the government to be paid towards the minority development. Okay, not as a creamy layer, no, I don't want. But if somebody requires. But as a community, if I had to talk, we have Waqf land. Let's channelize that well, create income out of that Waqf land, and use that income to welfare of the community.
Right.
Very prime land. Okay, I can mention the way the rentals today, they get just about 3 lakh, 4 lakh a month, but the actual income or the actual rental as per market value is 1 crore of rupees.
Yes.
Okay, like this there are hundreds of land within city limits.
Cities, yes.
So at the max, what can government give annually? This time around it's about 3,000 crores. Okay, for that population of around 1.2 crores of people. Where is the distribution?
Yes.
It's nothing, it's peanuts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Our need, and why the grant? Where is the grant going? Grant is going for ensuring scholarship for students. There are students who are able to get into engineering by way of CET, okay, but they don't have the ways and means to pay the fees of CET as well.
Right.
Okay, it is that money which they want. Okay, somebody he wants to buy a small auto rickshaw to run his house, or he wants to buy a car to be employed as a driver and be part of the economy. Okay, he doesn't have ways and means to buy a car. Okay, so there are a lot of these things which need to be said. Nobody wants money to buy a house. Government cannot give. Nobody should be paid money to get married. Okay, no. I am saying let's identify core sectors which really requires transformation and which has got a long-term impact. And if only Waqf board, if we all get our acts together and get it well, if we are able to set the Waqf board right, I think government need not even give us any contribution in terms of the minority, for the minority.
True, sir. True. I think a lot of onus is on us as well to sort of put this forward.
Yes.
Coming to the last leg of the interview, you've lived in Bangalore for a very long time and you know the city in and out perhaps. But of late, we're seeing quite a contrast where our Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, talks about brand Bengaluru, while on the other hand, our city is unable to sustain a little bit of high torrential rainfall. So, and I also attribute it to the fact that there is a lot of population that's coming in, and the government, though we have a lot of representatives going from Karnataka, and at the same time being ruled by Congress, we are not looking at an alternative for Bangalore. What are your thoughts on it?
See, Mr. D.K. Shivkumar has been very active and he started this concept of brand Bangalore. I think it's high time and I must congratulate for his efforts, because he's trying to bring back the focus on what Bangalore was and should be. Okay, for all good reasons. Bangalore has got an identity, the global map. Okay, so as Bangalore and Bangaloreans, we need to see how the progress happened. Bangalore grew exponentially.
Right. In a geometric ratio.
In a very geometric ratio. So the infrastructure development or the civics development couldn't keep pace with the development to that exponential growth. Okay, and very many places we have unresponsible corporate companies. Okay, for greed of profit, they have filled in lakes. Lake beds have been encroached and built large structures. Okay, did the bureaucracy keep a check? Question mark. Illegal activity, illegal construction rampantly happening. Layout plans are not approved, but layouts are formed. Building plans are not approved, buildings are tall buildings have been formed, and high-rise structures are going on. Okay, who's keeping a check? None. Mr. D.K. Shivakumar has come and taken the role maybe 1.5 years ago, but this is a damage which is happening past 20 years.
Right.
Does he have a solution to fix it overnight? I don't think he can do it. He can't fix it overnight. Okay, just in an adjoining area, I can be very categorical. Alarming thriving of PGs. Do we have policies, regulations addressing the PGs?
No.
Okay, each of these PGs are G+5, G+6, G+7 story structure with no fire systems, with no plan approvals, with no entry and exit being planned. Only value what they are looking at is in one room there are 4 people, 5 people, 6 people collecting money, and all these PGs are run by people not from Bangalore. From outside Bangalore, people have started coming running PGs. Okay, we have not controlled them. God forbid there is an incident of fire. Can you imagine the catastrophe? Who is to be blamed there? So, first, my sincere urge with our Honorable Minister would be is start fixing accountability. Look at people who've been in a certain post for more than 3 years, 4 years, 5 years in certain region. Okay, and understand what has been the irregularity there.
Right.
And make them accountable. The more you fix this, you're actually setting a trend for the future to say that law will catch up with you one day. So my sincere request is identify any region or all regions of Bangalore. Each of these officers or whoever has been there for 3 years, 5 years, okay, understand whether they have been doing their roles well. Okay, AEs are there. Okay, that's a small area given to them. Can't they check illegal construction happening? They go on regular rounds.
Yes.
Okay, they have not done it. So fix that there and get that point across saying that we are very serious about this. And start from there.
Right.
Now, lake beds have been encroached. You build structures on the lake beds. So water logging is bound to happen. You can't stop that overnight. Okay, so at least for areas to now come, development to come, plan development, civic development, underground drainage system to be fixed, all this has to be first brought in as a master plan, hold the officers or the bureaucracy responsible for their actions in terms of the implementation or monitoring and supervising, and have a roadmap for the next 20-40 years. Urbanization is happening. It's only going to happen large scale. Okay, it's not going to come down anytime. So only way forward is plan a future infrastructure. We look at Gurgaon. What was Gurgaon as well? It was a master plan laid out by the government there, and they executed it very well.
Yes.
Okay, we don't see this many number of waterlogging issues as much as in Gurgaon. Yes, there are pockets, and please note, waterlogging issues, flooding issues comes specifically where previously back in time it was a lake or a lake bed.
Even in Hyderabad.
Yes. See, nature has its form. You can't disturb the nature, and you can't come in between the process of nature. You as human being come and try to obstruct the nature, it's going to force its way in. If not today, maybe after 5 years, maybe after 10 years. Global warming has got its impact and effect.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. So the way forward is fixing first the bureaucracy, fixing our planning process, and then the forward is ensuring implementation, supervising of all the master plans.
So, sir, we have a small little rapid fire round for you, but it's a little different. I am going to name certain leaders, and I want you to respond to their names with one word or perhaps a small phrase. You ready for this? Okay. No diplomatic answers on this. Let's start. First one, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar.
He's man of his words and strong leader.
All right. Mr. Siddaramaiah.
Very socialist, ensuring upliftment and distribution of wealth across.
Narendra Modi.
Positive side, negative side. Positive, I think, a great orator, ability to get people following. The negative side is his thought process is totally wrong. The understanding of India is completely flawed.
Okay, that's quite a statement to make. Rahul Gandhi.
Very consistent.
Right.
He has certain principles which he is following. He doesn't believe in compromising on those principles and staying ground to those principles.
Okay. Mr. Amit Shah.
Remove the power out of Mr. Amit Shah, I don't think he has anything more to offer. If not for Home Minister, okay, I mean, why, what is he? I mean, if not for Home Minister, he's got a background of, he's eliminated a Home Minister in his own state.
Correct.
Did investigation happen? No.
No.
Did the law follow? No. He's being such a powerful post. The language what he uses is not right.
Correct.
He's in a very responsible post. So as an individual, when you sit in certain position of authority, you need to actually मर्यादा स्थान बोलते हैं ना वो position का एक मर्यादा स्थान रखना चाहिए. And I think Mr. Amit Shah, I don't know if it's his nature because I have not interacted him there, but at least from the TV or whatever the media whatever the perception I have, I think he's somebody who cares, who doesn't have basic even value for humanity. I would say that.
Right. Nirmala Sitharaman.
She's somebody who's been told to say things which she doesn't even know any idea of. Okay, she's getting an entire script. Like example, I'll say finance budget is prepared by somebody. She has to only go and present it.
Narrate it, yes.
Narrate it. So obviously she's in a fix.
Okay. Kangana Ranaut.
Wow, dramebaz. Dramebaz.
Sitaram Yechuri.
He's unfortunately he passed away recently. A great socialist, communalist thinking individual, welfare of people, very astute, silent.
Okay.
And we missed a great leader.
Mr. Manmohan Singh.
Superb asset to this country. His vision today, whatever we are, whether be it the digital economy, what we are seeing today, is all thanks to his vision of Aadhaar system, his financially inclusive system. So a great leader. We only wish he should have been in power for next 20 more years.
Mr. Kumaraswamy.
Somebody who I like him because he's got a great fan following across Karnataka as well, but not a man of his true words. Political compulsion, as trend changes, so is Mr. Kumaraswamy changing.
Mr. Yediyurappa.
Great leader, he's got his ideology sorted.
Yes.
But unfortunately, he's in the wrong party. Now, unfortunately, he's driven by a wrong cause. So his entire goals have changed.
Lastly, Mr. C.M. Ibrahim.
Oh, my dad. A very strong-headed gentleman, very grounded, clear in his thoughts. He's got an idea of India, a very holistic India, but an underrated politician and an emotional politician, and that's why the lack in him.
All right, that's it for today, guys. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time. We had a lovely conversation.
Thank you, Sakir. Thanks a lot.